One of the most difficult concepts for Americans today to accept is that there are human beings dedicated to coercive population control and genocide. Before you scoff and reject our ideas as some sort of madness, check out our references, then try to disprove our conclusions. The fact is that a vast majority of Americans have never heard of the intent of the Georgia Guidestones in Elberton, Georgia, or of the plan and the hierarchy that attests to the degree of control that exists over what the American people have been allowed to know about the occult forces which are at work within our society today. It's time for Stop Bitch and Start a Revolution. Season 4, the best of Part 3. Check it out.
We got three choices in this country, people. Let me tell you exactly what they are. You be subservient to the government, you go to prison, or you're an outlaw. And that's the way it is, people. Welcome to the program we like to call Stop Your Bitch and Start a Revolution. You are with the Department of Freedom. Yeah, people. I am none other than Psilly Way-out Willy. In the studio today we have none other than a brother of another mother, because in the Department of Freedom, we are all family. We got none other than Chief Footnote. Indeed, people, yeah, woo! And of course, you know my brother of another mother over there on the other side there, we got Buzzy Zipwak. Yeah!
Three choices, huh? That's about it, huh?
You know it, bro.
Prison, well, these prisons in this country are just as bad, if not worse, than some other countries.
You know, when freedom is outlawed, people, you know?
Only outlaws will be free.
Only outlaws will be free. So, come on, folks, if you haven't been with us, shame on you. You gotta be tuning in, man. You know you should be watching Food for Thought Wednesdays, 9 o'clock here on Nutmeg. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We're coming back to a subject we've talked about before because we just couldn't, you know, not camp on it because it's serious as a heart attack. But first, we're going to give you an overview of what's been going on. You know, we've been posing the question throughout the season. What have we been asking the folks out there, Buzz?
Are you a guinea pig?
Absolutely. Are you a guinea pig? Have you figured it out yet? Oh my God. You know?
Yes, you are.
We've been talking about what? Corporate poisoning. Under corporate poisoning, Buzz, what have we been talking about there?
Oh, one of my favorites was they put like arsenic in the chicken feed to keep it from going bad. And then they feed it to the chickens, and then it gets into their food, and then it goes into us.
Oh, that's sweet.
You know, that's one method, or GM foods.
Genetically modified foods, absolutely.
Yeah. Throw the pesticides right in the food.
You know, oh my.
Yeah, we talked about aspartame. That one I'm still just
Searle Pharmaceuticals.
whirling over, man. You know, I mean, it's poison.
Good old Rumsfeld, you know.
Yeah.
That was serious.
Cyril, toxic medications too. We talked about.
By the FDA, FDA's approving all kinds of things that are, you know, what? Gonna kill you, man.
Yeah,
Wake
rat
up,
poison,
stop bitching.
and your medication, Coumadin. That was really astounding to learn about.
You know what astounds me, people? You know when you're watching this program, the war on drugs is on trial. But let me tell you something. 100 to 300,000 are the statistics that die from FDA prescriptions. Up to 2.5 million with all of the, you know, toxins that are in some of the, you know, like Coumadin per se.
Right, yeah.
So come on, folks, you know, when is the DEA,
deaths.
when has the DEA ever knocked on the FDA's door? Let me tell you something. Right here, man, that's a bunch of crap. That's a bunch of crap.
Yep.
All right, so we talked about military poisoners with perchlorate in rocket fuel, and it's in 22 states, and mother's milk, and
leaching out of their storage facilities and all that kind of thing.
Jesus.
You know, not to mention launching them. You know, certainly doesn't do a lot.
We
for
talked
the
about secret U.S. biological experiments from the 30s on up. We gave you a taste there, folks, because we're trying to tell you, don't smoke any of this. But if we're the government and we're doing our deal and we're watching over you, let me tell you something. We're gonna kill you. That's right. You've got a choice. We'll kill you, get subservient, or go to prison. I don't know. Prior to fluoridation of the water, which began what? In the 40s?
Yeah, 1942 in Michigan, January 25th.
That's when it all began.
When the first city
fluoridating
started fluoridating the water.
My point in understanding that is before fluoridation of the water, Alcoa, aluminum company, and all these other industries that were using the military-industrial complex, they had a hard time getting rid of their industrial waste. Guess what? They decided to sell it to us for a profit and stick it in our water system.
All right, the following letter was received by Lee Foundation for Nutritional Research, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on September 2nd, 1954, from a research chemist by the name of Charles Perkins. He writes, I have your letter of September 29th asking for further documentation regarding a statement made in my book, The Truth About Water Fluoridation, to the effect that the idea of water fluoridation was brought to England from Russia by the Russian communist Kremenov in the 1930s. Hitler and the German Nazis envisioned a world to be dominated and controlled by a Nazi philosophy of pan-Germanism. The German chemists worked out a very ingenious and far-reaching plan of mass control, which was submitted to and adopted by the German General Staff. This plan was to control the population in every given area through mass medication of drinking water supplies. By this method, they could control the population of whole areas, reducing population by water medication and what would produce sterility in women and so on. In this scheme of mass control, sodium fluoride occupied a prominent place. We talked about that a few times. Repeated doses of infinitesimal amounts of fluoride will in time reduce an individual's power to resist domination.
And infinitesimal means tiny, tiny bit. Georgia Guidestones!
The real reason behind water fluoridation is not to benefit children's teeth. If this were the real reason, there are many ways in which it could be done that are much easier, cheaper, and far more effective. The real purpose behind water fluoridation is to reduce the resistance of the masses to domination, control, and loss of liberty.
Oh, imagine that. That ain't going on in this country. There ain't no pan-Germanism affecting this country. Hey, by the way there. Hey.
You could verify that in the 2002 Journal of Neurotoxicology, and also the 2004 study in the Journal of Toxicology, Neurotoxicology.
Yep.
You know, it also affects your thyroid gland. How many guys do you know in their 40s that are on Synthroid?
I am.
Talk to anyone who was in the Navy in the 50s. They had water tanks on subs and boats. They all have thyroid problems, or the thyroid's removed, or a thyroid tumor. And it also leads to osteoporosis. So it times perfectly, if you notice in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of arthritis, or so-called arthritis, and it would be about that long, you know, to have the fluoride in the water system to have it start showing up. So it's in there with your aspartame in your soda too, because you can't get this out of the water once it's in.
That's why you got to distill it, you can.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Carbon filters.
Buzzy Zipwak, what's up, brother? Another mother?
How's it going, Psilly Willy?
Hey, man, it's good to be here. You're with the Department of Freedom here on Stop Bitchin' Start a Revolution. People, we've been telling you, man, knowledge. It's what makes you unfit to be a slave. But people, we've been asking the question all season, and we're going to continue to ask, are you a guinea pig? Man, we showed you sweet misery tonight. We got fluoride deception. Look it, you know it. We're serious as a heart attack, you know? There's a war going on. The war is for your mind, people, and your body. It's time to commit your life to your Creator with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength, all your spirit, people, because guess what? Check this out. Fluoride deception, all right? Mr. Christopher, what's his name? Bryson, all right? He's got something to say about it. We want to back up what we've been saying. Check him out.
Do it. Let's roll.
Fluoride science is corporate science. Fluoride science is DDT science. It's asbestos science. It's tobacco science. It's a racket.
In July of 2004, Christopher Bryson sat down and discussed the findings of his new book, The Fluoride Deception, with Paul Connett at the Fluoride Action Network.
It's quite astonishing, Paul, the degree to which environmentalists have not been educated about fluoride. I'm a reporter. I'm not a scientist or a doctor. I'm quoting documents. I'm citing lawsuits when I refer to fluoride as a major industrial air pollutant. In fact, the leading air pollutant in the aftermath of the Cold War. Those are not my words. That's not my opinion. That's a quantitative assessment by industry experts of the scale of the lawsuits they were facing. The book looks very hard at the role of a key scientist, Dr. Harold Hodge, in the fluoride debate. Dr. Harold Hodge, for most of the Cold War, was the leading scientific defender of the safety of low doses of fluoride and the beneficial effects of water fluoridation.
Dr. Harold Hodge
a distinguished toxicologist on the Rochester team,